Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day 7 of albums that are 30 years old in 2023 as we look back on the year 1993. 31 days here in March, we have picked out our 31 favorites, both you and I, from the crop of albums released in this year. So each and every day, get another pick from me. And today, we're going to look at the 7th album by this U.S. band. It was released on April 6, 1993. Recorded at Morrisound Studios in Tampa, Florida, as well as additional work being done at 321 Studios in New York City. Produced by Paul O'Neill and the band, the Oliva Brothers, for Atlantic Records, talking about Edge of Thorns. By Savatage, yes indeed. One of their most underrated albums. Certainly it's underrated with me. It's like, in revisiting this album this week, because I like to re-listen to all these albums that I pick for these lists. I hadn't listened to this in quite a while, and I'm reminded about how truly solid this record is. And this is one of those albums in the Savatage discography that I kind of always overlook. I always really liked, but I tend to listen to and talk about certain other ones all the time. And this one, it's notable for a lot of reasons. First, it's the first album with Zachary Stevens on lead vocals, taking over from John Oliva. John Oliva is still kind of a part of the band, but he's not like an official recording and touring member. But he co-wrote a good chunk of the songs on the album. He plays keyboards on the album. I think he even plays a little bit of drums on the album. But John Oliva doesn't not sing on the album at all. So Zach Stevens comes in as lead vocalist, and this would also be the last album with Chris Oliva on guitars, who would die 6 or 8 months after they finished the album in a car accident. So kind of notable for two things. Unfortunately, one of them not very good. So in the band, like I mentioned, Zach Stevens on vocals, Chris Oliva guitars, Johnny Lee Middleton on bass, and Steve the Doc himself, Wachholtz on drums, and it's always been talked about how he used mainly electronic drums on this album, which, don't sound great, but I'm not sure what the decision was to do that. Like I said, you got John Oliva on piano, keyboards, and a little bit of drums as well, and produced by Mr. O'Neill. So, pretty long album, comes in just under an hour, and I think this is an interesting record when you listen to this, coming after albums like Hall the Mountain King and Gutter Ballet and Streets, which are big, bombastic, theatrical, heavy albums, kind of progressive in spots. And then you have this album, which has a little bit of a gothic flavor to it in spots. Some of the songs are kind of really moody. There's a couple of mellow, moody tracks. There are some heavy songs on here as well. There's lots of kind of opening keyboard cadenzas and things like that. And some of the songs are just flat out like hard rock songs, like really good hard rock songs. This is not the big, muscular, riff fest that was Power of the Night or Hall the Mountain King. It's not an album like that at all. But it's still really, really good. There's a lot of great songs on here. There's 13 tracks on here. The title track, Edge of Thorns, is a gem. It's got that opening kind of piano thing, kind of sounds like almost like Suspiria meets The Exorcist, right? That's a big, great riff in that. Good vocals from Zach. I mean, I always like Zach as a vocalist. He's just so different than John. John is a heavy metal wailer, and he's got those shrieks and whatnot. And that's not Zach. Zach is much more lower key, sings in kind of like a mid-range, very, very melodic. So this brought a big change in the band's sound. He Carves His Stone is excellent. Lights Out, no, not the UFO song. Lights Out is one of those instances of just a really good hard rock song, right? Great riffing, but it's not a big metal chugger at all. Excellent. Scraggy's Tomb, kind of moody, picks up the pace. I like that one a lot. You got the lovely little guitar thing, Labyrinth's guitar and keyboards. That's really good. Then you got Follow Me. Follow Me is more one of those kind of moodier, softer tracks. There's a couple ballady type things on here. Exit Music, also kind of mellow. Degrees of Sanity is an excellent rocker. You got Conversation Piece, which has some great riffing from Chris on that. That's a nice heavy song. A lot of these songs are kind of like slow builders, which I kind of dig. You got All That I Bleed. Not that big on that one. That's kind of mellow. Damien probably rivals Edge of Thorns as one of my favorites on the album. that's got this just kick out, just this typical kind of heavy yet theatrical sounding Sabotage riff from Chris Oliva. Then you got Miles Away, the gorgeous Miles Away, and then Sleep is the final track. So all in all, very enjoyable album. Again, sleeper album for me. You know, when I talk about Sabotage, I always talk about the Sirens, the debut. Of course, I always talk about Hole the Mount King, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. I love Gutter Ballet. Streets is a really interesting album. A lot of people like that. The prog people usually tend to go to that album. Power of the Night is a tremendously heavy album. You know, you get the big EP, Dungeons Are Calling. Some people like Wake of Magellan, some of the later stuff. This one kind of gets lost in the shuffle because it's kind of like a transition album, right? Transitioning away from John. Chris is last with the band. So, but that doesn't take anything away from it because I think it's really, really good. So, some great songs on here. So, yeah, if you are a Sabotage fan and you know anything about this album, let us know what you think of this album down in the comments below, The Edge of Thorns. Otherwise, also list your pick for day 7 in the comments below, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Please visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also, down below in the video description, we've got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, as well as our merch page, where you can get all sorts of cool Sea of Tranquility stuff. So thanks for watching, everybody. See you tonight on In the Prog Seat. That's right, it's In the Prog Seat and UK Connection Week. So we'll see you tonight for another album study. Chuck Alvarez is going to be hosting the show. He's picked out an album called Home by Procol Harum, their 4th album. So we're going to be talking about that one tonight on the show. And then we've got the UK Connection coming up on Saturday. In between that, we've got a new album review day tomorrow. So tune into Wednesday, What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility Day. Should have a whole bunch of things for you. We've got Friday morning at the Funhouse with Martin Popoff. Martin and I will be discussing this year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominations, right? We'll be kind of tearing that apart this Friday. And then, like I said, UK Connection coming up on Saturday. And on Sunday, ranking the albums. I will be ranking the albums of Cynic. So that's coming up on Sunday. The great progressive, spacey, technical extreme metal band, right? Not much of an extreme metal band anymore, but they started out that way. So got a handful of albums. I'll be talking about Cynic and their albums on Sunday. So till then, take care, everybody. I am Pete Pardo. Have a good day. Bye-bye.